If you were...
If you were a hippopotamus, you'd be born in Africa, in a river, underwater. You'd stay close to your mom for 5 years and live in a big family called a pod. You'd be a late-night eater and gobble 100 pounds of grass each night. That's a big salad. During the day, you'd sleep and stay cool. When you were all grown up, you'd weigh 7,000 pounds, as much as 20 super-sized football players. And you'd be just as tough, especially when it came to showing off your big mouth and going tusk to tusk with your buddies. But you'd be toughest when protecting your pod and your stretch of the river against crocodiles and even humans. No doubt about it, with you, one would not want to fuss if you were a hippopotamus.
If you were...
If you lived in a shell, you might be a snail, a turtle, a conch, or a spider crab. If you were a spider crab, you'd try hard to hide yourself. You'd live in seagrass on the edge of the ocean. You'd squeeze in among the rocks. You'd travel at night under the cover of darkness. And you'd be a master of disguise. Your shell would have prickly hairs you could stick things to, like seaweed and sponges, anything to keep you hidden. When you outgrew your shell and grew a bigger one, you'd cover up again.
But what puts you in such a hiding mood? Seagulls, of course. You're his favorite food. If he decides to swoop and grab you, hide, because that's what spider crabs do.
If you were...
If you were a boa, you'd start life with 60 brothers and sisters. You'd be more than 17 inches long, just long enough to circle a skinny waist. After a few months, you'd strike out on your own. You'd swim in rainforest rivers of South America and go tree climbing along the banks. If you were a boa, during the starry night, you'd wait for thirsty animals visiting the river for a sip. You'd use your stalking skills to seize and squeeze. And you'd fill up your stomach with one giant bite. Your skin would be silky smooth. You'd shed it when it got too snug. After 30 years, you'd be a super snake, 20 feet long. You could stretch across a street. That's how long you'd grow up if you were a boa.
Here's the blue whale.
If you were a blue whale, you wouldn't be a fish. You'd be a mammal. Mammals have mothers who feed their babies milk. Mammals live on land and in the ocean. If you were a baby blue whale, you'd drink 100 gallons of milk a day. When you got bigger, you'd eat a shrimp-like creature called krill. You could never eat just one. You'd eat 5 tons a day. If you were a blue whale, you'd hold your breath and dive. You'd know how to suck down krill, but not the water. After 20 minutes, you'd take a breather. You'd breathe out through the biggest nostrils in the world, also known as blowholes. You would grow until you were as long as 3 school buses. You'd be the biggest animal on Earth head to tail. That is, if you happen to be a blue whale.